Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an early look at GameGuru. This is not a game in itself, but a program to make games. I know, it's crazy. This is a very early access game development. I'm going to call it an engine, but it's not really an engine. It's like a cross between like an engine and more of like a mod. You're almost like it almost falls under the same category as like Gary's mod, but not really, because it's laid out more like Unity. It's very weird spot for this. It's kind of interesting. Right now it's in a very limited mode. It's available on Steam Early Access for $20. So let's close the startup dialog there and load up our little editor here. So what you see here is not a whole hell of a lot of anything. We have a basic plane, so we're facing top down. The camera's directly facing down at the ground, so we're looking at the ground here. And if we zoom in, we see the grass texture, which is okay, I guess. Not great, but it's okay. It's passable. And then you can zoom in and out with your scroll wheel. The controls themselves are pretty standard. WASD allows you to pan, scroll wheel zoom. You can also use your arrow keys to pan. You know, nothing too spectacular. If you wanted to scroll in and out faster, you hold shift. If you want to pan faster, like that's pan there, and then you have to hold shift and then push the button. So you move fast. Now you can really tell with just the texture moving. It probably doesn't show up at all, really. But you can. You scroll a bit faster when you hold shift. Oh, made it to the end of the world. Never done that before, actually. All right. So anyway. So the big thing with this is it allows you to quickly create your own single player or multiplayer first person game. So let's start with the basics, the actual manipulating of the map. So what we've got here is our basic flat pane map thing. Not a whole lot to it. Let's kind of zoom in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of create a almost arena type thing. I'm just going to very simply make something. So I'm using the sculpting tool here, this shape mode tool, that when you left click, it actually raises the ground. So the longer you hold it down, the higher up it goes. It's very simple. And as you go up higher, it changes the texture from the grass to stone, because it's assuming that once you reach a certain height, you're now in mountain territory and you're stone. So that's where it's going with that. You can adjust things and change the textures, like you've got some texture tools here that allow you to adjust. Now, you can also right-click and you can create a lake. So once you go below a certain area, you become lake territory. Now we can use, because right now this lake looks pretty bad. It looks pretty horrid. I can use this level mode, and wherever I select, it's now going to level everything out based on that. Well, now it looks way too flat. So we don't really want that. We want some kind of texture to it. So just kind of right click on areas, and now it's kind of jaggy. So I'm going to use this blend tool, which blends things. Not that you can really see too well here, but it tries to just kind of smooth things out. We'll take a closer look at the blend tool later. So what we've got is our nice little arena thing here. Not too spectacular. It's actually pretty hideous. But, you know, I'm not especially great with this. So I'm going to make our little mountain here. Just kind of do that. So, and now I'm going to use this tool. And actually, I think that's too high. So I'm going to right click and bring it down a bit. I'm going to use our level tool. And I'm going to select here. And there we go. Nice little kind of mountainish outcropping thing. I don't know. I don't know what the hell you would call that. But it is. This is what it is. If I wanted to shrink the cursor, I can use the minus key. And I'm going to actually chop this out because I made it a little bit too big. Which is, of course, making this look really bad. Just making that look really bad. And, of course, someone's car alarm's going off. So now we're going to increase the size of the tool. So shrink with minus, grow with plus. It's kind of simple. And now what I want to do is a way up and down from this. So I'm going to use this ramp tool. And let's shrink this down because that's way too big. So what you want to do is select your start point, so which is here, and you go to your end point, which I'm going to put there. When you release, there you go, you got a ramp. And it looks like crap. It really does, because it's just all jeggy. Well, you want to clean up these jeggies, so you would use the blend tool, or the smooth tool, blend tool, whatever it's called. And now, what I'm doing here is just kind of smoothing things out and making it look more natural, more like it belongs. You know, instead of just being raw cut in. So now that doesn't look as crappy. It's still going to look crappy because I'm not taking really any time to do anything. You can actually make things look pretty good with this, to be honest. This still looks like crap, but, you know, I just kind of cut it out. You know, if I took some time, it would look a bit better. But I'm not a perfectionist. So what we can do now is we've got our basic layout. You know, this is what our basic little arena is going to be. I could decide to make this a multiplayer game here, and I can put in like multiplayer start points, or I can just put in a single player start point. I can put in checkpoints, I can put in cover zones, I can put in lighting. Just all the things. Wind zone, trigger zone, sound zone, all the zones. And each one of these has different things. Different scripts can be added to every single entity. You can write your own scripts. It uses Lua. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in a single player because I'm not doing multiplayer. I'm going to rotate them with R. So you just rotate around. And I'm going to face them facing down the mountain. And then you just right click to clear. So there's our guy. And we can check out his properties. I'm saying him, but that's pretty nondescript, seeing as how there's no actual model to the character. It's a first-person game. There's really no model to speak of, or at all. I think you can set a model. I have not gotten into that, but what we can do here is we can say what start weapon. What start weapon do we want? I'm going to do a sword because I have yet to play with the sword. Lives, I'm going to keep that at 3. You can do whatever you want with that. What that'll do is when you lose your health, when you run out of health, you will then start back at the player start or your checkpoint, wherever you have set it up. And, well, you remove a life and you're back. It's that. That's it. Health, I'm going to bump that up to 1,000 because I like to end up shooting myself. Regeneration, I like to have this at 100 because I like to regenerate fast. Speed, I'm going to set this to 500 so that I increase speed. Animation speed, I'm not going to worry about. Fall hurt, this is kind of your fall damage area thing. I'm going to keep that at 100. I haven't fiddled with a lot of these. I know that if you if you bring gravity down to, I think, 400, you almost do like a Super Mario Brothers 2 Princess Peach hover thing. It's not quite that distance, but you kind of have that feeling. You jump up and you kind of float for a bit and then you land. It's kind of funny. But yeah, again, it's still very early. So this is what I'm going to set the player as. And you can set all these different things. You know, you've got different sounds. So you can do, you know, final moan, just all the sounds. You can create your own, obviously. Same thing with the scripts, which the player doesn't have a script. We're just going to apply the changes here. I'll show you some of the scripts in a minute here. So now we've got the player, which is great. You know, we could pop in here. I could just hit the rocket here to test the level, hop in, and I could go around, walk around, but not a whole lot's going to happen because there's nothing here. I could drown in the pool. That's pretty much it. Well, I could take fall damage and die, but we're not going to worry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some items here. First thing I want to add is a building. And I'm going to do the iron shed because it's an iron shed. And that's really the only reason why I'm choosing it. So again, I can rotate it with R. And I want to have it, I guess, this way. There are fine-tune rotations and there's all sorts of different things. Like you can fine-tune everything. You can paint different things. I'm gonna throw one there. Throw one there. Throw one there. Yeah, good enough. I'm not going for, you know, super high quality here. I'm just going for drop shit in and play with it. So now let's add some characters. We're gonna add some bad guys. So let's add a Rocket Man because I'm a Rocket Man. And we're going to add him here. I have a strategic reason for putting the Rocket Man here. And actually, this kind of shows you what the game engine is doing. It's actually deciding where best to put it. It will try to keep it on the ground. And I'm saying it because it's just the asset. And you'll also notice when we zoom in here, it's already animated. Even in the editor, it's animated. Because the editor is actually running the engine. So let's pop you there. We're going to pop you there. And these guys are facing the right way. Yes, they are. I have done it where I've had the guys facing the wrong way. So like we did with the player, we can select any entity. And we have, you know, your position, your rotate, your scale. Like I could increase these guys, everything. You know, I could make him wider. Apparently I can't make him wider. Oh, I can't adjust their scale. Okay, I can adjust everything else's scale. Apparently I can't adjust these guys. Well, that's interesting. Or can I do... No. Apparently scale you can't do. I can rotate them using the rotate ability here. This gives you pretty good control of their angle. Oh, didn't want to click off. Let's rotate him so he's kind of facing in. So they're both sort of facing the same way. I don't know why, just because. And same thing with the building. And then you've also got properties. So I'm going to do properties on this guy, and apparently it's bringing us to there, but whatever. So his name, Rocket Man. Main, which is the script, is AI Soldier RPG Lua. So this is a default script in the script bank for their AI. So it's this guy. And you can write your own script and you can have this soldier use that script. As far as I can tell, so far, there is nothing that allows you to bring your own like models in. Maybe I just missed it, but I don't think you can at this time. That is definitely something that I believe they're planning. But right now, it doesn't seem possible, or I'm just a nub. Actually, you know what? I am a nub. I am definitely a nub, because there's the Guru store, which people can create their own models. So there is a way to bring models in. I just haven't figured out how. I'm too dumb. Let's go with that. I'm too dumb. So now what I want to do is I'm going to add some barrels, because explosive barrels are what guards need, right? All guards need an explosive barrel beside them. And we're going to put one on the corner just because we can. So again, these, same deal. Same deal. They all have their script. So I can actually go in here. The buildings have the default Lua. Everything has default Lua except for the things that don't have default Lua. Where are we? Where's default? There apparently is no actual default Lua, or is this not ordered correctly? Alright, I'm guessing default Lua is actually built in. So let's check out global Lua. Actually we can't because of the way I'm recording this. Never mind, it's Lua script. Look up Lua. You know what Lua looks like. If you don't know what Lua looks like, you can look up Lua and see what Lua looks like. I can't actually record it because of the way I'm recording it. I'm recording this window and it just messed things up. And I've already restarted this recording several times because of various things messing up. Alright, so we now have our soldiers, we have exploding barrels, we have various articles around, but it looks kind of plain still. It really does. So let's go and add some foliage. And we're going to add a spruce tree or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10. Let's add this little spruce here. We're just going to pop some spruce around. La 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 la, just make these pretty spruce. Spruce the place up a bit. Nah. Yes, I am funny. There is a way to paint. There's a button that allows you to paint, and I can never remember what it is. So I don't even try anymore. I just kind of gave up. My memory is not what it used to be, which was never very good. So there we go. Let's just throw some trees everywhere. So now it's looking beautiful, isn't it? Just gorgeous. But you know what it's missing? It's missing the bane of my existence. Tall grass. So let's just make this amazing. We're just going to increase the size to, well, the size of the bowl, and we're just going to paint it. Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That really nice, sickly light green, that's all going to be tall grass foliage. It's just beautiful. It's going to be everywhere, and it's going to look like ass. It's actually not too bad, but the lighter the green, like if we come over here, that will only have a few. There we go. That's going to have a lot. So, and this is going to have a little bit. You know, it's just depending on how bright it is, depends on how much it's going to have. That's just that simple. You've also got these different textures here, which I'm not going to fiddle with. You've got just various things. This is your waypoint edit mode, create a new waypoint, entity edit mode. So I'm not going to fiddle around with those right now. They're pretty simple. What else do I need? Oh, yeah, I need some way to defend myself. I've got a sword, but, you know, taking on a rocket man with a sword isn't going to work out so well. So let's hop into here and give ourselves some weapons. So we're going to grab a magnum, and we're going to just kind of drop that there. And yeah, we've got ourselves the sword that we started off with. I could start ourselves off with the magnum, but I don't want to. It's just that simple. And we're going to drop some ammo. Just more ammo than we could ever carry. Just drop it all. Just, there we go. So we've got buttloads of ammo. Actually, let's add... can we do that? Aha! RPG rounds. I'm going to add a few of those. There we go. Because those will come in handy soon enough. Alright, so we have everything sorted out, right? Yeah, it looks great. Zoom out, see everything we've got. Got all the things. Everything's looking beautiful. I love it. It's going to be a great game. You know what? Let's give it a test drive. Make sure it's good. So right within the editor, you can just hit test level. And there we go. It shows us, well, your key bindings. Not a whole lot to it. So far, there's no rebindable keys. And here we are with our sword. Yeah! Rah! Yeah! Yeah, baby. Whoa. Oh yeah, I forgot I upped the speed by an excessive amount. Oh yeah. So there's our massive quantities of ammo. And we can just pick it all up here. We pick up our gun. And we can switch between our gun and our sword. Yeah! And we'll pick up all of these guys. Lots of ammo. Lots of ammo. I really shouldn't have made the speed so high. Oh dear. Oh dear. So we can wander around. And of course, sprint speed is just it's just super fast. Oh yeah. Oh. They have moved. Whoa. Hello. Ow. And we died. Alright. Where are we? Where are you? Hello. There we go. We shot him. And fell down and took damage. But what we can do here is pick up. We have our rocket launcher. Right now, there seems to be a bug where the water in the test mode, at least, doesn't show. It's a little strange, but that's going to be fixed soon enough. And I don't think you can actually drown. I died through the fall, I believe. Not to mention I got hit in the face with a rocket. But one thing I haven't tried, and let's try this, is rocket jump. Rocket jumps don't work. Oh well. Such is life. Reload. So animations are all there. Everything is already there. It's just a good basic way to kind of start off. Like, their license allows you to create the game. You can actually create an executable of the game. Oh, at this speed, I can actually climb the mountain. All right. At the default 100, you can't actually climb these mountains. Or maybe I don't have them steep enough, but I've tried it before and you can't climb the mountains. But apparently at this speed, you can. Let's just get going. There we go. Yeah, let's hop out of here and go back into the editor. You just hit escape and we're back in the editor. So yeah, that's a bug with the water. And that's just my bad with the excessive speed. What speed did I put it? Oh, 500. Yeah, 5 times the speed. I clearly was not thinking on that. Let's just leave it at 100 there. There we go. What was I saying? It's still very early. You can, if you go here, you can, save as a standalone, which will actually pack it as a Windows executable file. And then you can use that and actually, distribute the game, which is great if you're building like a multiplayer map. I don't think at this point anybody should be using it to make a game that they're going to try to sell. Although the licensing does provide you with the ability to do that. Any of the assets they have, they allow you to use within the program to make your own games, and you can actually sell them if you so desire. But I think at this point we're going to be... anything that gets created from this is probably going to be shit. And yeah, nobody wants that kind of crap. But anyway, I think I've pretty much covered everything I can right now. Definitely an interesting tool. Definitely pretty cool. Allows you to, get things sorted out. and just kind of get into the groove of making things. Maybe good for a basic prototype, and then you can switch to some of the the game creator's other utilities like AGK, or you could switch to Unity. This just makes things really quick to quickly prototype kind of a test with just basic assets instead of, buying assets from the Unity store or whatever, and just quickly fiddle around with something. And the fact that it's got multiplayer built into it, I think that's amazing. We'll see how well this progresses, and if they make... right now, I don't really care for the UI. I find it to be pretty clunky and a little slow, but otherwise, it's pretty good. But anyway, enough of me babbling about this. I hope you enjoyed this little look. Link will be in the description for where you can pick it up. It's $20 on Steam, which kind of makes the link in the description pointless because pretty much everybody's got Steam. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time.